And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? It is time once again to ask the dads. I, of course, am the Renegade J.J. Williams, joined along with the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham. And Jeff, this kind of a sad day here on Ask the Dads. This is going to probably be the last one for a very long time.
Yes.
Due mainly in part to your new employment at the House of Mouse.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I know that we'll do something whenever we can. Dads will still be canned like it was back in the day.
Yes.
The
Definitely.
top 10 lists. So we're not leaving everybody completely missing the dynamic duo.
Yes. Exactly.
But as far as the live Ask the Dads, those are going to be few and far between from this point out.
Yes. It's one of those, you happen to get Mondays off from your new employment, at least for now, until if they do expand, then it is what it is. It's almost a guarantee that my schedule is going to expand exponentially. The holidays are upon us, and they already got the great Mickey pumpkin up there at the House of Mouse on Main Street. So the holidays are nigh down at work.
Yes.
So yeah, they're kind of dipping my toes in the water when I start, and then they're going to throw me in head first. So we'll see how it goes. It's probably how it's going to go down.
Toes in the water, ass in the sand, eh?
That, you know what? Is there maybe I get close to the rivers of America, I could probably have my butt in the sand, but I don't know. The big giant rail kind of precludes that,
Yeah,
so, but we'll see how it goes.
And I don't know if you want your toes in any part of that water.
Not that water. With all due respect to the new Chiefs, yeah, no. That's green, and that ain't green because Kermit lives there no more. No, that's not why it's green, that water. No. Bad news. Anyway, before I get myself too fired,
haven't even had the first day yet, already treading water, so to speak.
That's it. It is, as I called it on the graphic, the season finale of Ask the Dads and Dads in general, because one way or another next week, we're starting a whole new season on the Jeff Meacham Network and all across the multiverse of media, as you all have gracefully dubbed it. I appreciate that, by the way.
We still need to get that into a t-shirt.
Trust me, there's a queue I'm trying to get through here. I want to make sure we get some Renegade stuff up there, some Casa stuff, because you don't need to be selling any more of my shit out there anymore. We got to get y'all stuff out there and some stuff for Greg and everybody. So we got to get more of those Renegades rule shirts on the backs of people, especially with the font we put in the back, because that is straight out of the House of Mouse. So especially, was it Rule 3 or Rule 4? Or actually, most of the rules are from Disney. So
all of them are Disney.
Yes, all of them for Disney. So keep moving forward. We talked about that. We talked about that last night on
keep
one
moving
night. So.
Forward. Reindeers are better than people.
Yes.
Ducks fly together. We talk about Bruno.
That's
Every
right.
rule is Disney related.
That's right. So, and yes, we have noticed JJ is staticky whenever I'm on the air. I don't understand why it's happening. I did notice it during the review of Dick Tracy, for the record.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I've noticed when I listen back that it comes and it goes. It doesn't affect too much to where you can't completely hear it. You just hear like a little bit of that creeping in the background. I'm not sure if it's the air conditioning, which seems to be blowing nonstop up here in the desert.
As it does.
It is what it is, baby.
We will attempt to do a little techie work on Sunday when I'm over there. We'll see if we can figure it out. Because it is a thing, but there is a question from the same gentleman who threw that comment at us, and exactly, we're going to get a Casa shirt, Pop. We're going to make that happen, and we'll send one down to wherever the hell you end up living.
I mean, he's got the original Stat Boy approved white shirt.
Oh yeah,
he's got a Dad's Not Always on Wrestling shirt. He needs a Casa or a Renegade's Rules shirt to add to his collection. The guy that hasn't watched wrestling almost as long as Bruce,
right,
has got 2 of our shirts. Like, come on.
And by the way, somebody get the word out to Bruce. I need Bruce to connect with places I'm going to be here soon. I have a gift for that man from another party that's been sitting on my shelf here for months now, almost a year. So
Well, the September is almost, or excuse me, August is almost over, which means October is around the corner, which means it's Bruce's time to come out and play.
that's right. That's very true. That's very true. And the gift I have for him is very much a particular day of the week and a particular number in October. That is, the gift is very centric toward that. So
Yes.
there you go. Yes. Anyway, hello, Dwayne. Good to see you in the chat room. But AJ, the question from you was, if you could be in any movie or movie remake, what would it be and why? Good Lord. Throwing a Renegades reviews question right at us here. I love it.
For starters, I wouldn't want to be in any remake. Hollywood needs to get original and stop with the remakes and shit.
Yes.
If I could be in any movie, I'm going to go with my all-time favorite. I would love to have been just background extra in Tombstone.
There you go, right?
You get to be in a movie with that stellar cast: Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Bill Paxton, Sam Elliott, Dana Delaney, Jason Priestley, Billy Bob Thornton, Michael Biehn.
Yes.
And to get to wear the long duster and the hat and have either the super thin Doc mustache or the big old bushy herb mustache.
Yes. No in
have
between.
The spurs jingling. Be so awesome. A couple of 6-shooters at the side.
Oh, yeah.
Double barrel in the hands.
Yes.
And I'm not even a gun guy, but just to be able to have, a wider peacemaker or something like that to hold,
right,
would be epic.
I'll tell you what, you know me, I am not fond of guns either. Never have been, probably never will be, right?
Same.
But that shop at Knott's in Ghost Town with the guns and the knives, there is some quality looking stuff in there, man. I tell you what.
I've gone in there a couple times, and I've talked to the guy that works there about, a wider peacemaker or something like that.
Right.
Something along those lines, just that I could have put on display, along with my Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet that I got from Disney, along with my title belts, just to have on display. Never have any ammo for it or anything, but just...
Because they are real at that shop. They don't come cheap by any means. So
just so that I could every now and again look in the mirror and be like, yoo-hoo, I'll make you famous.
That's right. That's right. For me, it's always been one answer, but since I saw the first movie, I'm going to say it's been two now. The first one, To Save You, Mr. Banks, has been the recent edition, and that's only because I'd want to be on the street in Main Street when Tom Hanks walked down that street.
Right.
Just for a moment to be in the park with Walt Disney. Like, golly, would that have been the greatest thing ever? Because we're never going to get that in our lifetime.
No.
So,
unfortunately.
Neither of us ever even came close to that. He passed way too far back for that.
He was gone 9 years before I was born, and you younger than me. So
yeah.
Just leave it at that.
10. Damn near 10, because he passed in the fall of 66, December of 66. So it was damn near 10 years.
Yeah.
So that would have been a really cool, just like, moment, right?
Yeah.
And to have him walk all the way over here, and stop, at the carousel behind me, it would be through the castle there, but that would have been amazing to be a part of. My go-to answer is always in Back to the Future, though. I just treasure those movies so much, and having been at Universal so much and been part of the stunt show they did where you were in the scene with Doc at the clock tower and just being part of so much of it, and being around the Courtyard Square so much, or Courthouse Square, Courtyard Square. Wow, that's a tired night.
And then going to some of the filming locations, like we did, going to the Twin Pines Mall, going to Doc's house, going to George's house, Lorraine's house, Biff's house.
Yes, we've practically already been in it already, so it's just you just gotta fill in the gaps there, Rocky style, But my answer's always been Back to the Future, but ever since I saw it and really got to think about the moment, it's definitely Saving Mr. Banks, if only for the Disneyland scene itself.
Yeah,
because that was just an amazing thing to see. It's you and I have always had a special connection to this place, and I don't take lightly what I'm about to embark on here, and it would have been really cool to not only see Walt there, right, but to see, first of all, Tom Hanks and Emma Thompson, the two of them, let's just give them a golf clap just because they deserve it. But also, to have the author of Mary Poppins, who actually is celebrating the anniversary of their release today. I was just watching that before we came on the air. I wanted to get the good, the supercalifragilistic, mojo going there. It'd have been cool. But yeah, Back to the Future, if I had to pick a scene, which I'm going to because I picked the scene from St. Banks, it would probably be the end. Not the end, but the scene at Courthouse Square where Marty goes back to the future with the lightning bolt, the whole thing. That was such a cool setup.
See, if I had to be in a scene in Back to the Future, it's got to be the enchantment of the sea dance. Get to dress up in those 50s, garb, dancing in the room to Johnny Be Good.
True.
That for me, that's where it's at. At least if we're talking the original.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If and again, you and I both said we were both born in the wrong era when it comes to music and style, because man, the 50s were where it was at for both of those. At least for the team. Had we been in high school in the 50s, we would have been. We would have been made. It would have been awesome because those are both such good eras of music and style, and it's really when the teenager became a thing, right? The 50s and the 60s. So it would have been a cool moment to be a part of. So yeah, the Enchantment of the Sea Dance definitely be right behind it. But I just love the whole feel of that scene, even just to be sitting there watching that scene, as a grunt or whatever, just to watch it happen. Because man, that such drama in that final, when he has to headbutt, almost out of frustration and turn on, and just the moment with Doc it was again, it's a perfect movie. I can't gush about it enough. Damn it, all the hell. So. And let's see what we got here from the Stat Boy himself. He says, "Hello, my internet fans. Can't wait for Raw tonight, and tag team titles might end up eating my words. Will not be the first time on either channel, Mikey, and it won't be the last."
Rather to eat your words than to eat your hat.
That's right. Only Zoog's Rift can eat a hat on the Multiverse of Meacham Media.
That's right.
And if you know, you know. If you don't, go back and find it. UWF promo with the Warlord. That was good shit. That was good shit before Vince even said good shit, pal. So there you go. Oh, man. But anyway, yeah, I definitely those two movies. Again, Tombstone's a great anything Western. Those guys, especially like the Western movies that actually stood, and made sure they were period perfect almost, or even very close.
Yeah.
Those long coats, those hats, just
Young Guns is
that's
another
why Back to the Future
one.
3 is people kind of crap on 3. I like Back to the Future 3 more than a lot of people do because it takes place in the Old West, and I love the Old West. So,
to my recollection, and Pop, if you're still in the chat room, please chime in this. To my recollection, Back to the Future 3 is the only movie I ever saw in theaters with my dad and my grandpa.
wow.
All 3 generations going to see Back to the Future 3 at the old Paradise Theater in Long Beach, now Cervello's.
Is it back being Cervello's again?
What's that?
Is it back being called Cervello's again?
I don't know, but I'm just giving a frame of reference for you. It was never the station.
Right. We had to
station
call it that
is what the little Martian thing says in Bill and Ted's Book is Journey. And Pop says I'm right.
There you go. So, yeah. So, picture, if you will, 1990.
Three generations of Williamses go into the theater to see Back to the Future 3.
Yeah. Here's a good one. It's probably going to get me in trouble, but I'll go ahead and put it up.
Okay.
Least favorite. Damn.
Let me try to save you a little bit. Gee, are we talking live action or animated?
Either way, it's hard.
Well, no, I mean, there have been some blunders for quite a few for me. I know.
Least favorite, I think, is easier than most favorite. If we're going to be honest.
I know that you're employed by them now, so you've got to break out the chapstick for Mr. the Mouse.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
Honestly, and this is going to sound really weird coming from me, but I sent out a few people that list of the Mickey shorts that I found prior to the Mickey Mouse Club premiering. A lot of those are bad. And again, it's the 20s to the 50s animation. It's not going to be sparkling HD shit, right?
No, of course not. But it's history.
It is history. It is, but man, Mickey was a dog back then. Like, okay, yeah, he's a mouse. I get it. Haha, dippy dog. I get the haha there. Right? But, man, Mickey was an obnoxious little jerk when he first premiered. Like,
and everybody wanted to hate on Donald Duck. It's like, nah, Donald had the sins. He's like, wait a minute, not that song again. It's like, yo, have you seen what this guy is doing?
Seriously, you go back and watch that. I liken it to the realization during Rudolph. Mickey's a dick.
Right?
Like, damn. Why you gotta be such a jerk, Mickey? Anyway.
So G isn't chiming in. So for animated, and it would be really easy to pick on the package films. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there because that was circumstance, that was time. So for the animated films, my least favorite is probably a toss-up between The Rescuers Down Under, and The Fox and the Hound.
Oh my god, I love those. Good lord. We're having issues here.
They just didn't resonate with me.
Okay.
Like, and even with the cast of Fox and the Hound, having freaking Mickey Rooney and Keith Coogan and Corey Feldman, it's just, I liked Fox and the Hound 2 more than I liked the original.
Really? Wow. That's a.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Patrick Swayze and Reba McEntire. Well, just throwing that out there, fair. But
that's fair.
I preferred that, and I rarely like the straight to DVD Disney sequels. I just don't.
Yeah, they're not neat. They're not all that. Yeah, and you know what? Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under, as much as I liked Bob Newhart, and I can get with Ava Gabor, it's they're definitely not my favorite, but they're not my least favorite. God, if we limit the sequel stuff, because there's some good and there's just some bad on the straight to. I mean, Return of Jafar and King of Thieves, I thought were both very criminally underrated for me for the Aladdin sequels. Yes, you didn't get Robin back for the second one, but they're still both very good. You eliminate those. Honestly, it's like the post. You talk about during July. The post Renaissance stuff was really tough. Atlantis is.
See, but I've never seen it. I've never seen Treasure Planet, so I can't criticize those.
Right. Yeah.
At least not until next year on Renegade's Reviews when I finish up the Walt Disney Library.
Until it expands again.
Get that show in freaking, 11 months early.
Right.
Promoting like Disney does.
I would say anything really in the right after Tarzan is just tough. Up until see, I don't want to make it go that far as Frozen because that's a long gap between Tarzan and Frozen. Because there's some good stuff in between the two.
Yeah,
like Prince and the Frog was good. Again, it gets hyped a little too much for my money, right?
It was definitely hit and miss between, I want to say, Mulan, Pocahontas, and Princess and the Frog, Tangled.
Okay. Yeah.
There were some good ones in there, Yeah. Hercules was decent enough. Not a favorite of mine. I know Mikey loves it.
Yes.
But, I like Hunchback. Tarzan's decent enough. Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
there's definitely some gems hidden in there. But then there's also your Atlantises, your Treasure Planets, your Brother Bears. Again, Never seen any of those, so I can't make a full judgment, but they just don't get the traction and the following that
Right.
the others do.
And
Even
for the
Meet the
record,
Robinsons, which is a huge favorite of mine.
yeah,
You know, my goob lives in your house,
exactly.
but
But you never hear
it
about
just
that.
doesn't get the traction.
No. They were in the parades and the parks and whatever when the movie came out, and then just bye.
They were meetable. I have pictures with Wilbur
Dude,
Lewis and Bowler Hat Guy,
you do. You
all
do.
three,
Yep.
but you rarely see them anymore. I
Nope.
hear
And
that Bowler Hat Guy comes out sometimes around Halloween when the villains come out
right.
for the special events.
Yes.
But other than that,
I guess
and
I'll find out here
people
in a month and a half or so. So
and people that weren't around for it are like, who the F is this guy?
right? Yeah. Well, it's funny. I show people the picture of Cinderella and I when I was a little kid, and then what's that Videopolis sign in the background? I go, oh, come here, child. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let's talk for a few.
As far as live action Disney movies,
I mean, Mikey's got a great answer. It's a tough one. That's a
no, I
rough.
love me some Old Yeller.
Okay.
Old Yeller is a classic.
But
I
it
get
is
it's sad,
oh man, it's
but
sad.
you can't call it your least favorite just because it's a sad movie.
Well,
That
maybe he has.
that is Disney storytelling at its best.
Yeah. Even
Bedknobs
represent
and
WrestleMania for
broomsticks.
crying out loud. What is it?
Bedknobs and broomsticks.
Really?
Never
Okay.
got into it.
Yeah, I'm not into it. Like God, you would think all the people that are in that movie, I would be into it. I'm
It
just
felt
not.
like Mary Poppins 2 with Angela Lansbury instead of Julie Andrews.
Somebody said, why is nobody home when somebody says it besides me? Why is it always a thing?
You've got it on video. Rewind it, press play when they get home.
Exactly. Well, actually, it's somewhere around here. Yeah. I actually
But
found the VHS of it in this house, so there you go. And yes,
I mean,
Mikey remembers Videopolis. See, there you go.
I
Old
don't
school.
hate it, but out of the ones I can think of that I've seen, that's probably my least favorite.
Yeah, and again, yeah, it's not because it's a bad movie. It's just like you said, it feels like a retread for me.
See, and here's my dad with the hot take of the day.
Yeah,
I mean, I was right there alongside him for a long time,
absolutely.
but you've just got to keep moving forward.
Well,
technology advances, it is still animation. It's just computer animation. It's not cell animation anymore. It's, it's just like how music changes. And what was rock and roll back in the 50s and 60s is pop by today's standards.
absolutely.
And what they listened to back then, it's like they would call rock and roll today some kind of other. That's not rock and roll.
This is rock and roll. Yeah.
It's evolution. It's a mystery.
That's right. Adapt and perish. You can either adapt or watch the world go by. It's very simple. Now, I'm not saying that Jerry's so far behind or whatever, but I will say this. No. I will say this in agreement with Jerry. When you go to Animation Academy, it is a lot easier to draw Mickey and Friends than it is to draw the Pixar pals. Just saying. It's a lot easier. And you get a better quality rendering when you draw it yourself if it's Mickey and Friends, if it's the princesses and the princes, than it is Woody or Buzz or Mike Wazowski or Sully or whoever. So I'm sorry, not Mike and Sully. They're also Disney in themselves. No, they're Pixar. Pixar. Yeah. I'm trying to find how far back Pixar goes. Yeah, it's
all Mike Wazowski is a circle with hands and legs. Like seriously.
Well, Mickey was drawn like that on purpose. So, I'm going to get the education further in a few weeks here, no doubt about it. But and again, Fantasia is your least favorite pop? Is that what you're saying? Because I can definitely hop on board with that.
No, I think he's talking about the hand animation for stuff like Fantasia.
Yeah, well, because Fantasia, as much as I love the key character, where the hell is he? There he is. the key character in one of the sequences. That is a long movie, and the sequel's even longer.
I learned something this past week on Facebook. So take stock in its validity.
Fair enough, Trey.
But supposedly Bela Lugosi was the model for Chernobog in The Night on Bald Mountain.
I'd have to watch it again. God help me.
But in a couple of different groups I'm in, pictures circulated this week of Chernobog side by side with a shirtless Bella, like posing, and a story about how Walt told somebody that they had used Lugosi for some of that.
I mean, there was no greater cinematic villain in the 40s than, post Dracula, Bela Lugosi. Even still at that point, he was still the consummate evil.
Yeah.
So wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, I believe it. I would have to really get the side by side myself to really get a good look at it. Another good question, and we actually did our movies featuring wrestlers. We do that every March. We're coming up with it again.
We did. I don't know if you missed it or go back and star it. G sent one also, animated non-Disney movies. So star that real quick so we can come back to that after this one.
Yes, good call. Yes. Starring a wrestler, as in the wrestler is the key player in the movie. God, They Live is up there for me. I love that damn movie. I always have. Even before I met this guy and my sister. It's always been. By the way, for the record, I did see the not the action figure from Mattel, but the other guys that make the horror action figures, NECA. Whatever it's called. I saw the one of them at Target the other day. I'm like, oh man, it was quite a bit of money. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm like,
yeah, they run about $35 retail.
And again, for the detail, doesn't surprise me.
Exactly.
So, but
that's why that day at Frankenson's, when the one vendor tried to tell you that the NECA figures were shit, I'm like, what are you smoking on? And can you share some so that I can sell that, since I don't smoke it, to someone else and make some money so I can go buy the NECA figure? You are on something, dude, for real.
Go sell it to the guy that we bought the Hulk Hogan character figure from. We know he'll buy it and get an even better figure off him. Anyway,
Hey-o.
If you know, you know, and I don't care if you do know out there. Anyway, God, okay.
See, this is one of those things where it's like, what's your favorite movie starring this wrestler, as opposed to just trying to narrow it down to one.
Right? Because They Live is great. Anything in the second half of Dwayne's cinematic career has been gold, right?
I'd say since he jumped on the Fast saga.
Yeah.
Before that was hit and miss.
Yes. So, there's all those
gems. There were definitely gems. We talked about them. Scorpion King, Rundown, Walking Tall, Be Cool. But I'd say pretty much everything since he jumped on the Fast saga has been King Midas Gold.
And when you think about the movies that came up on our list, a good chunk of them from both of us were pre-Fast. So, there is that. The easy Jeff Meacham answer would be Suburban Commando, but we all know that's bullshit. Because it's not even that good.
Yeah, this is one area where, as big of a Hulkamaniac as Jeff is, as much as he bleeds red, yellow, and black and white, you aren't going to get him to admit to a Hulk Hogan movie being his favorite movie starring a wrestler. Because 99.999% of the Hulk Hogan movies out there suck donkey balls.
Yeah, they're terrible. They really are.
The exception to the rule, and the movie sucks donkey balls, but not Hogan's part in it, is his promo for Muppets from Space. Because he legit walks in there, cuts a full-on heel NWO Hollywood Hogan promo.
As Hollywood!
And when Gonzo tries to bust him, it's Rizzo. It's like, what about the kids? He's like, I'm a bad guy now. What you gonna do? And that's the end of it. It's like full-on heel Hogan.
That is the That is the shining moment of that piece of trash movie too. So, God, I will forever get in bed with you on the Muppets, but man, is space bad.
It is.
So, and again, there's some really good ones, but there are also some bad ones, just like anything. But yeah,
They
I
Live is
would,
definitely up there for me. I personally am a huge fan of Suburban Commando. And I'm not the Hulkamaniac in the room.
no,
But Suburban Commando is my favorite Hogan movie.
I
But a
would agree
lot
with
of that is owed to Christopher Lloyd and I forget his name, but the guy that plays the dad. Or
Austin.
yes, Austin Pendleton.
Yes, there it is. There it is. Yeah, he's again another criminally underrated guy.
He's
Don't hear
Mr.
a lot
Nanny. He's Mr. Nanny. I take that back. Suburban Commando is Christopher Lloyd. Austin Pendleton is Mr. Nanny.
Christopher Lloyd and Shelley Duvall as the mom in terms of cameo. And of course, one of the villains heavies is the Undertaker in his first.
You're a dead man, Ramsey.
Yeah, it was actually filmed before he became the Undertaker. He was still working for Turner at that point.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Undertaker's "You're a dead man, Ramsey" is about as iconic as Arnold Schwarzenegger's "I'll teach you how to throw the discus." Because his accent was so bad when he did Hercules in New York that they overdubbed him.
Oh, yeah.
And they overdubbed him with white bread, mayonnaise slathered all over it, white as you could get. So big, bad, burly Arnold Schwarzenegger, "I'll teach you how to throw the discus."
God forbid they couldn't dub him over in Batman and Robin either. You know. God.
Hey, leave that alone.
I will not.
That movie supposedly had Coolio as the Sandman.
Well, in that case, I give him a pass for not casting that crap. Okay. You get a pass, Schumacher, because you didn't cast that asshole. So there you go. All right. Favorite movie genre wrestler. Here we go. All right. So definitely They Live is up there for both
Princess
of us.
Bride with Andre.
Would Andre be a star?
He's not the lead, but he's definitely one of the top billed.
It's definitely one of the ensemble. It's more of an ensemble than it is a leading man, leading woman. So yeah, okay. Princess Bride would be up there for us. Yeah. I don't know. People crap on the franchise. Miz as the Marine has been good for me personally.
You know, and people crap on this one a lot too, and rightfully so, based on when it was released and the company at the time. But Ready to Rumble is fucking gold. It really is.
It's again, if you take out the disdain for everything that is WCW 2000, it's a fun little movie.
It is the best part of WCW 2000.
Exactly. It's
the movie that's responsible for the triple cage.
Well, they basically recycled the Tower of Doom from the late 80s, but they made it relevant enough where they brought it back.
No one talks about that. It's like Bruno. No one talks about that.
Hey, if we
brand new match.
Bruno on this show, I got to do anything else.
It's a brand new match.
Yes, but yeah, definitely.
And before you have your first day, you need to watch Encanto, goddammit.
Yes, sir.
Make that a thing.
And Coco.
Yeah, and Coco. Especially because you're going into Halloween season.
And I got to finish Emperor's New Groove because I still haven't got through that mess yet the whole way through.
You can wait on that one.
Thank you. I thank you for that. Joe Galli was giving me crap for that because he's a David Spade fan. I'm like, sorry, Joe.
You know what? Natalie and Cece will give you crap for it too. But considering the time of year that we're in, and the fact that Songs show is around the corner, you need to see Coco. You need to see Encanto.
Yes. And
Get it done.
I will say this on the subject of Joe Galli. I didn't get the chance. I was going to post social media today, but I got busy posting work stuff. Congrats again, Joe. Newly engaged. I don't know whether to hug you or to warn you to run for your life, brother. But either way, we're happy for you here at the Casa and the Jeff Meacham Network. So congratulations, my friend. Godspeed.
Star Raymond's question also. We'll get to that in just a minute.
Can do that, but we'll get to Favorite cartoon movie non-Disney.
Yeah, there.
Again,
That's another tough one, G, and it's tougher than a lot of people may think because I've got so many of them.
yeah, you do.
You know,
More than me, for
first
sure.
one that comes to mind is Titan AE.
Wow, that's the
So
first one?
good.
Okay.
So good and so criminally underrated.
I will agree with that.
Matt Damon, Drew Barrymore, Tone Loc. Like that just right there dates it. Tone Loc.
Right? Yeah, a little bit. I liked the first Shrek, but they subsequently just got more like, all right, how much money do we need to squeeze out of this poor guy? Like, seriously.
Shrek is good.
Just trying to think of the different.
I know, right?
Studios.
Land Before Time. The original.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Right
the
there.
original, not
There's
the
my
37 sequels that went straight to video afterwards.
Yep. I have, well, it's a green screen. It's magic, folks. In the closet back there, full size plush of Littlefoot. Damn it! To this day,
another slept on one, much in the vein of our beloved Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Cool World, starring Brad Pitt as the human cop and Kim Basinger as the voice of Hollywood.
Yes, that was a good one.
Hollywood, if she could.
Right. What was the one with Lori Petty? I'm pretty sure it was animated. Oh, damn. That's gonna bug me all day. Not till I look it up later, but it's okay. It may have been a live action. I just thought it was animated because of all the colors and all the hairstyle for it.
Tank Girl? Tank Girl? Yeah, that was live action.
Live action, okay. Yeah, I would say that before time my favorite.
Space Jam, the original with Michael Jordan.
It's a hybrid, but we'll throw it in there.
It's mostly animated.
Yeah, well, because he goes into the Looney Tunes world, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know,
I mean, say,
Eddie Valiant spent far less time in Toontown than Michael Jordan spent in the Toon World and Space Jam.
This is fair, but yeah, you said the magic words. Land Before Time is my favorite non-Disney animated movie. That is just so. That one and the Feifel movies are so forgotten, and it makes me sick that they are. As is the original All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Another one that's not talked about as much, and I can't really overpraise it because I've never seen either one of these two I'm about to say. Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, and Anastasia.
I saw Fern Gully when it came out, and I remember liking it. I didn't see Anastasia as well. So.
The only thing I know about Anastasia is that Aaliyah did the main song, and I only know about that and learned of that after Aaliyah's passing in 2001.
Right.
Because I went out, I bought that soundtrack so that I could have her singing Journey to the Past, which is so good. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
My dad says Fritz the Cat.
Fritz was good. I'll go with that.
Here we go. Another one, and it just got a sequel, so it can be another Movies with One sequel down the road. Beavis and Butthead Do America.
I wouldn't put that in my favorites, but I definitely enjoy it.
It was damn good for the time. It was a time capsule movie. It's one of those that you go back and you watch it now and you're like, I don't know, Tim. But man, right there in the middle of 1994, 95, whatever it was when that came out, that was the shit.
Yes.
The same with, I want to say it was 1999, 2000 with the South Park, Bigger, Longer.
The South Park movie was good. I don't like South Park anymore, but man, that movie came out. had I been of age, I'd have gone into the freaking theaters and seen that shit. No doubt
Like,
about it.
I'm not gonna lie, we've actually been watching the Beavis and Butthead new series that's on Paramount Plus.
I'm hesitant because there's no videos. It kind of
There
takes away from the
is,
dynamic of it.
there is, but it's not the same. Now they watch like YouTube videos.
Oh, okay. Well then I have to watch because they'll let me have time just here.
So you see like the TikToker type of videos, but they also watch music videos on YouTube.
Okay,
So
I'll
you
have to
get
watch
them
them.
watching music videos in there too.
Yes,
It's good.
I'm just trying to see here what we
It's
got.
definitely that throwback.
Yes,
And then I have to give a shout out. It's not really a movie. It's a 30-minute special. But I have to give a shout out to Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue.
Yes.
The Muppet Babies, you had Garfield, you had Alf, you had Slimer, you had Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, you had the Looney Tunes game, the Smurfs, Winnie the Pooh. It was so good, and it was an anti-drug PSA, which is why all of those characters came together.
Yep. Good stuff. I've not heard of Willy Millie. Have you?
No.
Okay. Just thought I'd throw it out there because it was brought
I've
up.
heard of Chili Willy. I've heard of Free Willy, but I've never heard of Willy Millie.
Yes. I've heard of Millie Vanilli, sadly, but
Girl, you know it's true.
Well, you've heard Milli Vanilli, just haven't heard those actual guys talk or sing. Anyway, damn, I'm a terrible person.
They did Scene on Arsenio to try to prove that they could.
I forgot about that. Oh my god. Okay, that's in my head for the rest of the night. You're an asshole. Thank you for sharing. Okay.
You're welcome.
Do we think Bray will come back at Clash? Also, Sasha. Bray is still very much again every week.
Yeah. This is that question that until it happens is going to get answered on every freaking broadcast. I would bet you $5 that you're going to get asked about Bray or Sasha tomorrow on your Final Talk Wrestling.
Very likely. As far as Sasha goes, tune in here in about 15 minutes because it looks like it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, the rumors that I have heard say that an agreement has been reached between WWE and Mercedes and Trinity.
Yes.
Sasha and Naomi are back on the internal roster. They very well could come out on Raw tonight.
They are crowning the tag team champions tonight, for what it's worth.
Yeah. And I almost want, even though I know it would make no sense on a storytelling level, I almost want Natalya and Sonya to take the belts now so that on the post-Clash Raw, it can be Sasha and Naomi versus Io and Dakota.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Because again, that particular thing doesn't need the titles, much like Rock.
Why would you give Io and Dakota the belts, bring them into the Clash, and they're not going to defend them?
Right. Exactly. Yep. And plus, if
you give this to Sonya and to Natty, you still could have a title defense at the Clash.
Yeah. Although, isn't it Raquel and Aaliyah?
No.
Oh.
It's Natty and Sonya.
Oh, all right, cool. And if, for whatever reason, the reason Io and Dakota loses because of the distraction from the return, then you've got Bayley and Sasha beefing, which is always good. So, I like it.
That's good for TV.
Yes. As far as Bray, again, we'll believe it when we see it, for real. We've both finally seen the Joker's movie. I saw it way late, and that was my bad.
I saw it at the El Cap with my daughter.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I was mad that I didn't take advantage and go. Because when I finally watched it, it was damn good.
And they're making a sequel.
Yeah, well, of course they are. again, we're not going to give away the plot because we don't want to be spoilers even now, however long it is later, because it's good enough where you need to get on Disney Plus and watch it. It really is.
Yes.
Dwayne does an amazing job, as is Emily Blunt. Again, Emily Blunt with Disney seems to be another Midas thing now. Like, everything she touches with the mouse is great. So definitely get on that and watch it if you haven't seen it.
Different strokes for different
Mikey T
folks.
wants to get his
Report Card Radio.
Yeah, and again, Mikey, this is by the way, this is Mikey T in our group chats, just for the record.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah,
I
don't know. Maybe it's because I'm such a diehard Dwayne fan and I'm such a diehard Disney dork that I'm willing to forgive certain things that other people are not willing to forgive. Like, people talk shit about the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion. I adore that movie.
See, I didn't like that one, so
I adore that movie for what it was.
Yeah.
The Country Bears movie. You take away the fact that I am a diehard Country Bear fan, that movie really is some hot garbage. But I love it to death because I am a huge Country Bear Jamboree fan.
Well, I think the problem...
And then you put Christopher Walken in it as the villain.
Yeah.
Anything Christopher Walken touches has got my attention.
I think the problem, Jay, with all of the attractions that have been turned into movies, they had a rough row to hoe falling in the wake of the Black Pearl. They really did, because Pirates was so good.
And maybe my years are off a little bit here, but I feel like it was a slow burn getting to Black Pearl.
Well, yeah,
like they tried Country Bears, and that sucked, box office wise, because they got rid of the attraction at the park before they released the movie.
They did, and that was a detriment to the movie.
Then came Haunted Mansion, and it did better than Country Bears, but it's still a little wet around the edges.
Yes.
And then came Curse of the Black Pearl.
Right. It was so good. And
anything they've tried since then, which, if we're being honest, when it comes down to movies based on attractions, I think The Jungle Cruise is the next one, because there were like 25 Pirates movies, including some adult-themed ones.
Yeah.
But
they've had to halt promote based on Johnny being Johnny, or Amber had to deal with whatever. But
Tomorrowland with George Clooney,
that was not
a little movie.
I didn't like Tomorrowland.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the message involved. You got to get deeper in it.
Right.
You figure you're starting at the 1964 World's Fair. Small World takes you into this completely other domain.
True.
But it wasn't going to be Pirates numbers. It just wasn't. Name me the last movie, not with the word oceans in it, that was a success for George Clooney. I'll wait.
Movie? Yeah, that's a hard.
I'll wait.
Hard case, exactly.
He's just not that actor for movies.
No.
George was always a better TV guy.
Yep.
Than he was a movie guy.
How did
and the Oceans movies were only as bankable as they were because you had everybody else.
Yeah. That movie he and J-Lo did, I forgot the name of it now. God, not Geely, not that piece.
Out of Sight?
Yeah, Out of Sight. I thought that was, it didn't do well box office. I actually liked that movie personally, but it didn't do well box office though.
It was okay.
Yeah.
But you've got to figure it was also right on the heels of Batman and Robin. Anything was going to look like a success compared to that.
That is fair. And I did see both, not in theaters. I saw Batman in theaters because I was seeing the movies in theaters, but I saw it at a site later, and it seemed better for a lot of reasons.
Plus, there was the connection in Out of Sight with Michael Keaton's character, which tied back to Jackie Brown. His character was the same character.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
so you had that audience because the same author wrote both stories.
Yeah. So according to Mikey, it is Aaliyah and Raquel against Io and Dakota tonight. So
I could have swore it was Natty and
I mean,
Sonya, but I digress.
yeah, I'm just now I'm questioning my own damn self. I saw it on social that it was going to be them, but again, stranger things have happened where I've been wrong before about WWE programming. Post, come on, God, this phone is taking so long to load today, like worse than usual.
Hassan,
Anyway,
what's going on? Thank you
good
for
to see you,
joining
brother.
us here as we get towards the tail end of the final, for now,
Yes.
Ask the Dads.
I like this question. Do you guys have any interest in Rock's upcoming movie Black Adam? I'm a fan of the characters in the movie, but it does look generic from the trailers. Again,
Here's the thing when it comes to Black Adam. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Opening week, maybe not opening weekend, but opening week, because it's a DC movie, 1, and because it's Dwayne, 2.
Yes.
That's assuming it hits theaters with everything going on with DC and Warner Brothers.
Right.
The Flash is supposedly shelved because of everything going on with the lead actor. Forgive me for blanking on his name right now.
Oh,
The Batgirl film has been shelved.
Completely canceled. Yeah, that was ugly.
It was pretty much ready to go and has now been shelved.
Right.
You know, Aquaman 2 is now in serious question.
Yeah.
A lot of these DC's, thank you, Ezra Miller, a lot of these DC movies are now in serious jeopardy because, I'm assuming, because this Warner Discovery thing.
Well, yeah, they're not trying to spend any more money than they have to until they get this merger figured out.
You know, so I'm wondering if Black Adam's even going to come out. I mean, I know the League of Super Pets made to theaters, had Dwayne, was a pretty good success. You know, again, you had him and Kevin Hart together, which are a dynamic duo. Dare I say the modern day Martin and Lewis.
Yeah. If you haven't seen League of Super Pets, there is a cameo from Black Adam in the post-credits scene.
Of course there is, because why
with
not?
The Rock voicing both Crypto and Black Adam. So
because why not?
So they're definitely going for that synergy. So hopefully it comes to fruition, man, because that's bad otherwise.
You know, there's.
And yeah, Mikey,
I have said for a long time that DC didn't realize what they had until Marvel released the Avengers.
Yeah.
Because they could have been doing this for 30-something years prior to Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America First Avenger, the Avengers.
Yeah. You figure the Avengers team movie, the first one where they were all assembled, was 2012.
Yeah.
Man of Steel was 2013. So they've had their hands on Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, the Green Lantern, all of these characters
for years.
Decades, brother. You figure Superman, the movie with Christopher Reeve, was 1978.
Thank you. So you had 1978 with Christopher Reeve. Wonder Woman was on TV around that time with Linda Carter. Yeah. Adam West was still in phenomenal shape and could have been Batman. There's your Justice League right there.
And even if you wait the decade, when Chris was still healthy, Michael Keaton's 89.
I was just going to get there. And then you throw in a whoever for Wonder Woman. There's your Justice League. Then you come into the 90s and you've either got Keaton or Kilmer. You've got Dean Cain. You've got insert somebody for Wonder Woman.
Seriously,
I Justice League right there.
Yeah, I mentioned Dean Cain the other night and how awesome it was that Lois and Clark is on HBO Max. That show was cooking with gas, man.
And then you even come to 05. You've got Batman Begins, Superman Returns. So you've got Christian Bale and Brandon Routh. You throw somebody in there for Wonder Woman, and you're 3 years ahead of the game. The Marvel
on the original Marvel movie. So there you go. Again,
DC didn't know what they had until Marvel did it.
Yep.
And the other problem with DC is, unlike Marvel, who had Kevin Feige to kind of draw out the blueprints about where everything is going to go and how this is going to connect to here, is going to connect to here, and we're going to go back to this and drop this little Easter egg here and then bring this over here. DC didn't have anybody.
No.
They didn't.
Well, and again, this goes back to what we talked about last night with the whole Time Warner merger with Turner and then with AOL later. That entire company has been for decades. So I'm not surprised.
Mikey T, I haven't seen the Super Pets movie yet, but the reason why I don't think it connected is because despite Dwayne and Kevin and Keanu, they didn't use any of the actual people that are in the DC franchise.
Yeah.
They could have very easily used Affleck or Keaton for Batman instead of using Keanu Reeves. They could have very easily used Henry Cavill as Superman instead of John Krasinski. You could have used Gal Gadot. You could have used all of these people that are tied to the franchise to provide their voices for the animated versions, thereby tying it into this world and making it a part of the DCEU, even though it's animated.
Especially when you have Dwayne as Black Adam. You're right, you don't see Dwayne's face because Black Adam's talking to Crypto, with the back to the camera. But when you have that connection at the end, you spent 90 minutes trying to avoid all connection to it beforehand. What was the point?
Yeah.
It makes no damn sense to me.
If they had done that, I think it would have had more of a connectivity to the audience.
And even still, 250 million worldwide is nothing to sneeze at either. So let's just
no, especially on a 90 million budget. They almost tripled their budget. Yeah. So in Warner's eyes, that's a success.
Yeah. Compared to, and again, Batgirl was shelved because, they spent tens of millions of dollars, but it was just dragging. It just wasn't happening because of multiple reasons. A lot of it probably has to do with the merger. I'm not even going to try to, cover that shit up or whatever, but it's just bonkers that, they had so much just sitting right here in their hip pocket literally for decades and didn't run with any of it.
Seriously, and I'm not the biggest comic book geek.
No,
I enjoy watching the movies as a spectator who enjoys action movies.
Yes.
I'm not a guy who has cases upon cases upon cases of comic books stored in my closet.
No.
I've got boxes upon boxes upon boxes of movies.
Yes.
I'm not the guy that's got comic books.
No.
But even I can recognize that you've got this that you could have done. Could you imagine if they had done, going back to, let's not even worry about the Justice League, but if we had done like the remember in the Batman 66 movie, I forget what they called themselves, but when the four villains came together, they had a name, the
United
Underworld.
United Underworld.
Could you imagine if around 89 we had a movie with Lex Luthor and the Joker?
Right?
Seriously.
Oh, yeah. That would have been, and again, take your pick. Seriously, Gene Hackman was still going enough where he could have very easily donned the bald cap one more time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and Nicholson, hot on the heels of his portrayal, he would have commanded a hefty paycheck, as would Gene.
And dead or not,
Keaton, as would Reeve, because he was still in good health. But they would have made that shit at the box office.
Well, Chris was saying by 87, Superman 4 was and is what it is. Golly, is it bad? I think Reeve was so disenchanted at that point because 3 was not what they expected, even though they had the Richard Pryor thing and they expected to make bank off it. And he was so over it at that point. But
I get it, but I think if they had presented Batman and Superman coming together to take on Lex and the Joker, I think he would have been down.
Yeah.
Because how could you not be down at that day and age? Like, dude, that would have been epic.
It would have been. And there would have been a lot of creative talk because how do you kill the Joker in 89 and then bring him right back? So there's a lot,
It would have been as if Kirk and Luke had to fight against Khan and Vader.
Right. Exactly. Which would have been awesome. Like I said,
It just would have been that epic.
Yeah, it would have. It would have been something that would have made money at the box office without a doubt. Just for the record, before we go into the plugs here, because we are getting into the top of that hour.
But we do have one other question from Mikey T.
I did see that, and again, we're going to talk more about this on Sunday when we do our full preview prior to All Out. On the Jeff Meacham
I'm not
Network.
sure what the other 2 6-mans are. I know of the one, but what are the other 2 that are supposed to be happening?
Yeah, as far as I know,
we've got Wardlow and FTR versus Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. Okay, and then you've got the trios title match. So what's the third? Because you're going to crown the new trios champions at All Out.
Yes.
So what's the last 6-man tag match that's going at All Out? Because I don't know about that one yet. And there's already 9 matches announced for All Out. Tony Khan needs to pump the brake, or else we're going to have freaking Noah Foster on a 12-hour AEW call. Not to mention the Worlds Collide pay-per-view.
I see the tag title match between Swerve and Our Glory and the Acclaim, but not a 6-man. So.
The ladder match. That's every man for himself, though. That's not a 6-man tag.
And this isn't confirmed yet, by the way. So,
okay.
looking like and execution are 2 different things, my friend. So, anyway, so tonight, actually, as it starts, new women's tag champs on Raw. Kurt Angle's going to be there. They're in Pittsburgh tonight. Riddle and Rollins are going to say face-to-face. Shoot, they put on social media. Riddle and Rollins were getting in the parking lot an hour ago as they arrived in the building.
Am I the only one that thinks they missed the boat with having Chad Gable be Kurt Angle's son? Like the Jason Jordan thing, I feel was like flat, but I look at Chad Gable and I totally see Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Especially in his promos.
Oh, yeah.
Sheesh. Sheesh,
he's such a dork.
He's
it fits perfectly for
like
Kurt. It really
Kurt
does.
Angle.
Yes.
Dork.
Yeah. Would it be crazy? I think the whole booking of the last 2 weeks has been crazy, Mike, if we're going to be brutally honest. So we'll see how it lays out. So Wednesday and Friday.
What's more crazy, Mikey, is the fact that Sunday is Worlds Collide, and as of right now, only 2 matches have been announced.
Yeah, they got a lot to do tomorrow night.
They have a lot of work to do tomorrow.
Yes.
And make me care about it.
Yes. Again, you're watching this, so there is that. And for those of you that tuned in for the last hour and change, we appreciate it. If you missed this gentleman to my right on the left on screen, but right for real, an hour ago or 2 hours ago now, please go back and watch Dick Tracy, his review of Dick Tracy. It was, again, I always forget that Dick Tracy was under that umbrella of the House of Mouse because it's a Touchstone
Pictures.
And it is worth the deep dive to find it on streaming or on hard copy. It is
criminally underrated. It's my favorite phrase of the review. Criminally underrated.
And it really is. The cast is criminally underrated. The story, it's a great, you mentioned it in your review, it's a great throwback to that era of comic strip. Superman, Batman, Dick Tracy, all those guys, when you pull up the newspaper, it's great stuff.
And the throwback to those old 40s gangster movies. Cagney, Bogey, Spencer Tracy.
Yes.
Madonna. I was sitting here when we were watching it talking to Cece, and it's like, I wish Madonna would drop like another album singing that type of music. Her voice was so perfect.
Seriously, Madonna in that era could have pulled off an entire soundtrack of big band stuff, and nobody would have missed a beat.
For real, like Michael Bublé and Madonna. Can we make that a thing?
Seriously, that's about as close as you're going to get to the era of Sinatra with one of his leading ladies on mic with him. For real, for my money, anyway.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, speaking of money, come on in. What's your phrase for Mikey's show?
Stat Boy Sports Bar, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. The food is hot, the beer is cold, the seats are warm, so pull up a stool and enjoy the conversation.
There you go. And there will be
My
a.
dad saw one of the reviews where I did that. He was like, "Did you come up with that on your own or did someone feed that to you?" I was like, "Nah, that was all me." He was like, "That is so good."
It is
Because
good.
it
I enjoyed
sounds
it.
like an
Absolutely.
advertisement, you know? The
Hey,
food
have
is
to.
hot, the beer's cold, the seats are warm. Pull up a stool and enjoy the conversation. Stat Boy Sports Bar every Tuesday on the Casa D-18 Studios channel featuring Dory Lou.
Yes. And at least for this week, good old JM will be on a bar stool. God help me. Um,
Yes.
let's see. And then, of course, I'm not going to get too deep into this shit. I'm really not. Series finale, meh, whatever. Wednesday, you are back on with Renegade's Reviews, closing
Yes.
out your birthday month with
Josie and the
another one of those
Pussycats,
movies that's
baby.
just not talked about enough, and it's so damn cute.
Yeah, it's another one. It's very much a time capsule film. It's
Yes.
very much what was en vogue and popular in the early 2000s. Boy bands. I mean, for Christ's sakes, there is a boy band named De Jour in the movie.
Right?
And for those of y'all out there that don't get the joke, De jour means of the day.
Yeah.
So boy bands were the hot thing for the day.
Yeah. Soup du jour is soup of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when the boy band's plane crashes, oh, we'll just replace them. They're of the day, easily replaceable.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
For
not,
real,
it's,
like
yeah.
Josie and the Pussycats, so underrated though. Rachel Lee Cook, Rosario Dawson, Tara Reid, Alan Cumming, Breckin Meyer, Seth Green, Donald Faison. You got a stellar cast there. Carson Daly has a cameo. Just just such a good movie. The songs are amazing.
Yes.
They're right up there as far as like fictional bands for me with the Wonders. With this soundtrack, like seriously, the Josie soundtrack and their songs, we could do a track by track going with them against the Wonders from That Thing You Do. It is just so good.
Yes. I
For
love
real
that
though.
idea. That needs to be a collaboration one of these weeks. Oh my god! And then the top of the following hour, of course, I said season finale just to keep it synergetic. Greg, I don't think really gives a shit either way. But in that show, we also have our buddy Jesse Devlin, who's also from Ohio, because this weekend in college football, the Ohio State University versus Notre Dame. So there'll be some horns locking between our between Greg and Jesse. I'm gonna sit there going, I'm an Ohio State guy, but I'm not gonna fuck with the host. So it is what it is on Wednesday night after your review Josie Pussycats. Thursday, week 2, even though they're in week 3 because you do a week behind, so we give everybody a chance to do their thing and get their watch on.
That's right. Going to take a look at the next episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. They seem to be dropping on Fridays now, so my episode still goes up before the new episode
Oh, that's good.
drops. So that's
That's
good.
good. That's definitely good.
But
And
yeah,
yeah.
it's going almost all the way through Halloween. So there are 9 episodes of She-Hulk as opposed to the 6 that there were for Kenobi.
It's funny, they're doing 6 for that, 9 for that. The Paramount Star Trek ones have been a pretty standard 10 more often than not per season. So they're kind of just trying to find, like Eric always said, don't be better than, don't try to be better than because you can't be, just be different than, and that's what they're doing, and it's working.
And they're trying to bring so much synergy into this series already. You know, we've got Mark Ruffalo coming back as the Hulk. You know, this past week that already aired, so it's not that big of a spoiler. I'm going to be talking about on Thursday. Tim Roth came back as Emil Blonsky, the Abomination.
Nice.
They've already announced that Charlie Cox is going to be coming at some point as Matt Murdock, Daredevil.
Nice.
So they're bringing in all kinds of different pieces. Waln is supposed to show up from the Doctor Strange world at some point. So they're really trying to sow the seeds of She-Hulk to make her worthy of being in this franchise. It's going to be cool to see where it goes.
She-Hulk is definitely one of those characters that didn't get near the attention other than the comics themselves. like the other the Marvel characters did. So it's cool to see her getting a little bit of the showcase, especially with that mouse rub, man. It seems like Disney Plus seems to just be churning out all the good stuff. And again, I'm not trying to show, but it actually, Kenobi was so good. And I was not a Star Wars fan. You know that growing up. I was a Star Trek guy. But man, Kenobi filled in every blank between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope that we needed to know why. Like, we needed to know why Vader said, last we saw you, I was the learner, now I'm the master. It's like, that's why. Because of that final scene. Like, that's why we know. And it's so good. Hopefully we can get more synergy with She-Hulk. We can get more of these amazing connections with all the properties in Marvel, because they're all so well done. And again, we talked about it. DC is just trying to play catch-up ball at this point.
Give it a little bit of time to build the show. I wasn't thoroughly impressed by the very first episode, but it's 9 episodes. It's what we always try to harp on for wrestling. It's going to be long-term storytelling. Going to get that slow build. By the time it gets to episode 4, maybe even episode 5, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to get that slow build. You got to explain why she got the powers. Then the next episode was, man, I don't want to be a superhero. She-Hulk, really? That's what they're calling me? She gets her first case, and it's going to be that slow build till she finally accepts it. And then guns are going to be blazing. I'm waiting to see her and Bruce come into counter with something and do battle together. Like, right. That's coming, whether it's going to be episode 7, 8, 9,
whatever it is.
Yeah, it's coming. Like I said, Matt Murdock is supposed to be in it. Are we going to see She-Hulk and Daredevil fight or fight together? Gotta give it that slow burn. Give it a bit of a chance. Yeah. Exposition.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that never read the comic books that have no clue who this chick is.
Right.
We have to establish that for the novices like myself. Like I said earlier, I don't read the comics.
Right. Yeah. Like you always tell me with anything, with Gotham, with the Harry Potter, anything, just long term, but you got to let the burn hit, man. Shoot, both Gotham and the Harry Potter, at least the movie, and even the books, I'll even say the books. Those first 2 seasons, movies, books, whatever, it's just exposition. 3rd season, 3rd book, 3rd movie, bang, take off. Off they went. All of it did. So, can definitely see that being the thing with She-Hulk. But again, the longtime fans have to be patient, and the novices have to just be patient not knowing what's coming. It's just that simple. So, what we got? A question here? Oh, yeah. I just didn't care for much of the MCU. Well, and again, if you're not going to care for much of the MCU after Far From Home, there's not a whole lot we can do. Just.
And you got to watch No Way Home.
Yeah, No Way Home. He said, let's see. He didn't. I can't freaking get it to come out. I'll just put it up here. Didn't care for it. Didn't watch it 2 years later, with the exception of, okay, so he did see No Way Home as well. Which,
okay,
again,
so No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness, gotta see.
Yeah, those 2 are crucial post Endgame, if nothing else, for real. And again, I know 2019, kind of, Endgame was Endgame, so it was supposed to be, but they're still telling the stories of a lot of these folks. Yeah. So, gotta let it burn, kids. All right, back to the shameless shills. Friday, you are already off and running with your first movie in back to school month. Ironically, it's back to school.
I mean, I couldn't think of a better movie to kick off back to school month. I don't even remember what I had scheduled for that to begin with.
Right.
But I thought about it and I was like, no, you know what? There is literally a movie called Back to School that I have never seen.
Yes.
So that is going to be my kickoff to back to school month.
I dig it.
And then seeing very young Robert Downey Jr. in there. Seeing Adrian Barbeau.
Right.
Seeing Oingo Boingo and Danny Elfman making a cameo.
Right.
I don't, have you seen the ads that pop up on Facebook for the Danny Elfman Hollywood Bowl thing?
Yes, I have. Yes, I
Why
have.
does he look like Cameron Monaghan's Jerome mixed with Ed Sheeran?
That's a good question. I'm glad you said it before I did on the air. He
And
looks.
now you were just going to have that mental image.
I mean, Danny's always been a different looking cat. Like, let's be honest. But yeah, he's definitely got that Jerome Ed Sheeran thing, and it's not a good thing, Danny. For the
And
record,
I discovered Back to School was his third score.
he has done so much that a lot of people have no idea.
Yeah. As
For
soon as
real.
the movie started and the music started, I was like, this sounds like Elfman to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's too early for it to be Elfman. Music by Danny Elfman. I was like, okay, that's why it sounds Elfman to me.
What year is Back to School?
86, I want to say it was.
Well,
86 or 87. I know Pee-wee's Big Adventure was like 85.
85, yeah.
And then he had done another movie score. I want to say it was 82 or 83 was his very first one.
Yeah.
But
Pee-wee was
this was like the third
yeah.
one and his second major one.
Yeah.
Still, it's crazy.
And again, the music of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, I threw that on the Spotify on the way down to see that with my dad when they had the big thing with Paul and everything. That music alone was just like, man, I am ready for this shit.
Yeah. So, and then to see him in the movie playing Dead Man's Party with Oingo Boingo, which other than Weird Science, those are the only two Boingo songs I ever really got into.
Right? Yeah.
And they both tie to movies because Weird Science is the theme to Weird Science. And then Dead Man's Party is in this.
I think he did, if I remember right. I'm pretty sure he did score Multiverse. If not, he should have. Although it was scored very well. But
well, let me see. I just so happen to have a wiki page for him up.
There you go. See, he's looking.
Because I had looked up. Yes, he did do Multiverse.
There you go. See, again, that movie, the music behind that movie, again, was a huge part of it, man. That made that movie flow as good as it already was. It flowed in better because of the music behind it and the sound. It's so good.
He also did Age of Ultron.
I believe that. Because that was the first one I saw. Actually, I take that back.
Those are the only MCU movies he's done so far. Multiverse and Age of Ultron.
Ultron I saw with you guys at the LCAP, right? The whole big group of us went that way. Or was that the first one? The first Avengers one?
I didn't see Age of Ultron at the LCAP.
I'm trying to think. I know we all went to the LCAP for... You know what? I made me think of an Inside Out outing.
Yeah.
Because everybody was at that outing. Yeah. Anyway. Saturday is a... long day. Yes. So we starting not with Renegade's reviews and release. Nay. We starting with WWE because they suck. Bastards.
Yes, congratulations on fixing the image, by the way.
Honest to God, dude, I put a freaking hey, get that. I'm not done with you yet. I basically just took an image, just kind of it doesn't look stretched because it was already so busy as it was.
Yes.
But I fix.
Yes.
Man, 9 o'clock in the damn morning.
I know, and I'm gonna be like just getting ready to start work.
Right.
Like I'm gonna clock in, I think, at 9:30 that day.
Did James say he was gonna call this one now, or am I am I doing
this? He said he would call it in my absence.
Okay, good, because I don't mind calling, and I enjoyed the NWA stuff, but I'm gonna be tired as a muckerfucker comes Saturday morning, especially Friday night traveling, right? Oh, Lord. All right. Anyway, Clash at the Castle. It's been
unfortunately,
built.
I won't be able to be there to do the Pat McAfee if it happens, if Drew comes out to Broken Dreams. Yes. But I have been told that either James or Noah will do it for me. Jeff had volunteered, but we don't need him knocking himself silly, giving himself a concussion before he goes to work at the Mouse House.
No.
So either James or Noah are going to Pat McAfee it for me. And you know what? I might even do it when we do the Worlds Collide if he does it, just so I make good on my word. We can find the 8-bit version of Broken Dreams so we don't get pinged.
If Drew comes out to it, or if he uses it at all Saturday, I will make it my mission Saturday night to find that for you, the 8-bit, before I go to bed. Damn it! But then Saturday, as you are in the process of your shift, we will be premiering new release Saturday Renegade reviews, and we have the new graphic because
we're still not sure which it's going to be.
Okay.
But it's leaning like it's more going to be this than the original one. It was supposed to be Beast.
Yes.
Idris Elba, but due to finances and time to get to go see it, that more than likely is going to have to be canceled, in which this film, Secret Headquarters, is going to take its place for new release Saturday.
Yes.
You're just going to have to tune in Saturday to see which one it is.
It's one of those WCW 2000 cards. Even we don't know what we're going to air. So
yeah. Except it's going to be better than whatever WCW 2000 aired.
This is accurate. Okay, so I'm not sure how to plug these next three, so I'm just going to go ahead and do Warzone first because it kind of falls in the middle.
Hold on. Take that down, because at 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 Eastern on Saturday, we're going to have open mic.
Well, it's there in the season finale there in the bottom, so I actually forgot to mention it.
But there's going to be a huge gap between when this ends and when open mic night goes on. So we got to make sure they know open mic night will be on Saturday. It'll be 8 o'clock p.m. Disneyland time, Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern time, Walt Disney World time.
Yes.
I'm more than likely going to get off work at 6:30. So we're giving me an hour and a half to get home on the 15th, on Labor Day weekend. That already is asking for a lot. So we're just going to have to kind of see how that plays out. But 8 o'clock we will start regardless. I can't expect Noah and James to wait even longer, especially with the doubleheader that we're going to have on Sunday as well.
Yes.
So 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock Pacific Eastern time, open mic night on Saturday.
Yes.
And I already have one topic ready.
Good. Right on. I love it. All right. So let me just say this before you do your own show for this show. Uncle Jay doesn't show me the box.
Yes, I actually was going to hold up the box.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So Sunday, the Warzone, the weekly acquisition report. Now, I don't know if any of you watching have heard of Hamilton Book, but I discovered it recently through a YouTube channel that I follow, Serial at Midnight. Going to give Heath a shout out, even though he definitely doesn't need me plugging his shit. He gets more than enough subscribers and viewers that actually makes money on this shit. But, Heath and his channel and his view count and his library are straight up goals for me. That's why I'm willing to give him that free publicity. But I discovered Hamilton Book from him, and I have a box here from them. You can see how thick it is. There are 9 movies in here that I will pull tab to open and expose for this week's Warzone. Everything in this box, grand total, was less than $35. And 9 movies, and there's a lot of them that are multi-movie or multi-disc sets. So you figure everything in here was $5 or less, because 7 times 5 would be 35.
Yeah. So figure, he said 9 movies. He's actually meaning 9, because cases, boxes.
Yeah.
So we'll see how many movies are in these boxes, cases, on Sunday at 3 p.m. Disneyland time. Because 3 p.m. Walt Disney World time, we out here.
That's right. We're going to start with the NXT UK Worlds Collide, which, as we alluded to earlier, they got a lot of work to do tomorrow to buffer out that card. They only have 2 matches currently announced. Right. That being Braun Breaker versus Tyler Bate, winner takes all unification match, as well as Mandy Rose versus Miko Satomura versus Blair Davenport, triple threat, winner takes all match.
Yeah.
So granted, they've got some heat lined up already.
Oh yeah.
But they've still got a lot of work to do if they're going to make me care about this 3-hour PLE that only 2 matches are booked on.
And considering that we're going to be, running harder than we usually do on a Saturday because they're starting so early with the Clash, they're going to really need to get our energy up with their own energy if we're going to be going live at noon here.
And you figure one of the best things that's been going on NXT right now, Toxic Attraction. Gigi's out with an injury.
Yeah, man. Gigi's down
so
for the
Gigi and JC aren't even going to be on the show.
Well, JC might be.
Well, I mean, they might be there with Mandy,
support,
but they're not going to be wrestling on the show.
Well, it's so crazy to me, and I didn't realize this until Miko came over from the UK show to challenge for this winner take all. She wrestled on Nitro.
I know.
In 1996 or 7. I was like, shit. So
I saw your post about it, so I Googled her so I could see who she was. And yeah, she is a vet. Mandy has got her work cut out for her.
And then there's Blair Davenport, who's very much a wild card.
Future.
Yeah, she's very much a wild card. So we'll see how it all is that. And again, they didn't replace Gigi with Mandy because Mandy's the NXT Women's Champion, single champion right now. So they can't do anything with her yet. And then, man, on to Chicago, brother, and All Out. And again,
9 matches so far announced, plus whatever gets thrown out there by Tony on Dynamite or Rampage.
Yeah, Wednesday will be very telling because Rampage is going to be taped either that same day or it has, as far as I know. So Wednesday will be very telling as always.
And as of now, there is no AEW championship match. We are less than a week from the show. No AEW world title. Now there's rumors that we'll get another Moxley Punk match.
Right.
But those are rumors. We don't know for sure until Wednesday or Friday and the announcement. But you got to figure that needs to have the trigger pulled first segment Wednesday so that they can hype that all Dynamite and all Rampage.
Yep. Well, that's why we're doing our. I don't have a graphic for it because it just clicked in my head. That's why we're doing our NXT prediction show Thursday night because No DQ's doing theirs tomorrow before NXT during the Stat Boy Sports slot, and it's like they've got 2 matches. What are you going to preview? What are you going to do for after the first 10 minutes of your show? You sit there and do this for 30 minutes? What the shit? So yeah, check out our stuff because we're going to be previewing it. We're going to, as soon as the No DQ review is over, we're going live, and then I'm going to bed because I got to get up early in the morning to go out.
We'll be doing predictions for Clash. I think Clash is the only one we're supposed to be doing predictions for, right? Because the other ones we said we would do prior to the actual shows.
Clash. I'm sorry. Yeah, Clash. Not All Out. Clash. You're right. I'm sorry. So Clash preview Thursday night, but Raw will be done by then, and SmackDown's already in the can. So we pretty much know what we're getting on Saturday after tonight's show. Whatever happens in the next 2.5 hours.
We've already talked to you during the first 30 minutes of Raw, and for those of you that are still with us, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to watch 8 o'clock anyway, so it's all good, at least on that front.
Yeah.
And again, they got their million on Wednesday, did AEW, but consistency. Can they do it again? A lot of people felt by the world title match on Wednesday, so we'll see.
It was bad. I honestly feel like AEW would have been hitting that million consistently had Punk not got injured.
Yeah.
I think there was enough desire, want, water cooler buzz around Punk becoming champion that had he not gotten injured and had been there on a regular basis, it would have kept them at the million. Or even with his injury, if freaking Max had been there at some point to keep things rolling. Max doing a loose cannon-esque Pillman style takeover shoot type of promo on a regular basis, maybe not even every week, but every couple weeks, to where you have to tune in to see if he's going to do something else or else you've missed it. That would have kept.
When you think about, they've only hit 1 million this year, June 29th, where Punk was already hurt by that point. Even the show where he came out as champion out here in LA, they didn't quite get there. The last time before that was in March after Revolution. So
crazy.
They've got to start being consistent. And before that, it was twice in February, almost every week in January, except for
and
the 12th.
And
So
no disrespect intended to Mox, he's not the guy to get him there.
No, he's not. And that's
They
unfortunate for
need
him
somebody like a Brian. They need somebody like a Max. They even need somebody, and I can't believe I'm going to say this name because I don't want him back in the ring on a regular basis, but like a Sting.
Yeah.
If Sting got the belt at his age on a Turner broadcast, do you know what kind of buzz that would generate?
That's the key.
Even
Dude.
if it was only short term,
right.
People would tune in that had tuned out for so long on a regular basis to see what Sting was doing. As far as they're on a weekly basis, Wardlow, I think, is their guy to do it, but he's the TNT champ. You got to build him up first. You got to make it. You've got to get it to that Georgia Dome moment for Wardlow. Yep. And he's not quite there yet.
No, he's not.
You need to have that perfect heel world champion. Oh, maybe like the guy that he was a heavy for him to challenge for the world title and dethrone him.
Yeah, if Wardlow were to beat Max after this program and Max actually does come back after all this, and Wardlow's the guy to take him down at Revolution next year, even if Max gets it, at Full Gear, that's a lot. It's a good long reign for Max, and then it's a moment. It's time to build Wardlow, or even Double or Nothing, which is their WrestleMania. Give Max the lengthy reign, and then give Wardlow the big moment in Vegas. Again, it's not hard to book, just to finance. Tony, PayPal.
Right.
That's it.
So I think we have covered all our shills.
I believe we've covered everything today.
We've done 30 minutes, 35 minutes overtime. My battery is at 29%, so it needs to start getting plugged in here momentarily.
Yeah, a little bit.
Thank you all for joining us today for the final curtain, if you will, for now, for Ask the Dads. Yes. Like I said at the top of the show, we will still do live Ask the Dads shows whenever Jeff's schedule allows it.
Yes.
Gotta get it from the mouse, man. You gotta get that approval.
I gotta know what I'm facing beyond what I already know. What I do know is, as of right now, we do have 2 regular top 10 episodes of Dad scheduled for this month, and they're not canned yet.
Month. It's still in August.
It's for next month. Thank you very much. We are taking next Monday off, for the record. Drive time from either of you from there to here, just not, and then trying to catch the trains, just my head hurt bad. However, we will get these canned, hopefully. Again, these are all tentative. These are both tentative, but we do want to bring these up because JJ has his reasons for both of them, for sure. The next time we are scheduled to go on is September 12th, 2 weeks from tonight at 3 p.m. Disneyland time, 6 p.m. Walt Disney World time. The top 10 TNA /Impact /Global Force / what the hell are they called this week? Activision champions. Now, granted, everybody out there knows JJ and I didn't really watch a whole lot of Impact in the post-Hogan to now era until very recently. But that's what tape's for, kids. That's what videos are for, kids. We can go back and see what we missed. But the people that are included that held this championship and the one immediately after belong on any top 10 list for my money. So
yeah, I went through, I looked at the title history. I have my 10, and it just kind of is what it is, as we always like to say here on the show. It may be controversial for some people who I've got and where I've got them, but subjective.
And neither one of us are discrediting anybody that's held the X Division Championship in the post GFW bullshit era. Because the guys that have been X Division champion and the athletic amazement behind them cannot be ignored, right? But man, those early days, AJ, Jerry Lynn, Low Key, Amazing Red, X-Pac, even, as beat up as he was, Frankie, Daniels, Joe, and Kurt Angle was the X Division champion, crying out loud. So Black Machismo, there's so many people that were in that pre-Hogan time that 10 is not difficult at all. So bear that in mind in the next 2 weeks as you wonder what we're going to throw at you. And then at the end of the month, the last Monday of September, as of now, we are scheduled to tie in with JJ's theme for the month. As he goes back to School Renegades Reviews, we are going to talk about the top 10 movies taking place within the school setting on the Dads, not always on wrestling. That is our non-wrestling.
That's right. Everything that is going to be discussed this month on Renegades Review is totally up for grabs, and then some, because there's other stuff that I'm obviously not getting to.
Yes.
If you find that it's hard for you to make a list, then just watch the movies that I'm covering this month and see what you can pull from that stuff, because there's some classics, man.
Yeah, and again,
whether it's a day in detention or playing hooky from school for the day, whether it's being like Rodney Dangerfield and going back to school after being in the workforce for 30, 40 years, whether it's being a kindergarten cop.
Right?
I'm
surprised it was on your list. I'm not going to lie. That's
because it's so easy to do with a Schwarzenegger month.
That's also very true, because he's got quite the filmography his own self, so I'm not even going to take that away from you.
You've got the Brat Pack movies. You've got the National Lampoon college movies. You've got Animal House, Dorm Days, Van Wilder. You've got all kinds of stuff.
I'm just trying to make sure I got everything that I wanted to shill. There it is. There we go.
You've got Urban Legend, which takes place in a college.
Again, Urban Legend's very much more, geared for October, but it's still a great school movie.
Yeah.
And you mentioned horror. You mentioned October. We've got, again, we'll talk about late October in a second here, but our October wrestling show, I think, is definitely going to get some chatter. Because we're talking about the top 10 females to never hold a singles world championship. And that, you'd be surprised how many quality, at least in JJ's and my opinions, female wrestlers never held the big one in their respective companies. There's a long list of people that maybe should have been, or at least had the buzz where they should have been, and they just never got there.
Yeah.
So there's good stuff there.
I'm going to throw two names out there that y'all can mill over in the comment box and think about. Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler.
Exactly. Both of them with the buzz.
Forget about the fact that they're garbage wrestlers.
Right.
Because the women's division wasn't about what it is about today back in their days. If Deborah McMichael can be the women's champion, if Stephanie McMahon could be the women's champion, if Harvey Whippleman can be the women's champion, if the Cat can be the women's champion, why weren't either of these? And needless to say, with the exception of Stephanie McMahon, those two drew a hell of a lot more eyes and money for the product than any of those broads that I just named.
And once again, JJ shirt rings true. We're talking about Bruno on the show today, so there you go. We love you, Harvey. And yes, Tori Wilson even has one of these, despite never been champion. So there is that. Stacy inducted her and everything. And then we tie back into your theme for October, because October 24th, the Monday before Halloween, top 10 horror movie sequels. Now,
I've got to admit,
go ahead.
I've got to admit, this is harder for me than I thought it would be.
Yes, absolutely.
I currently am sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
I don't even have a full 10.
Now,
I'm struggling without using multiples from the same franchise because that would be cheap, I feel.
So there's my first question. My second question is: are you looking at just part 2 or just entire franchise?
Entire franchise. And
Okay,
I mean, if you want to use more than one from the same franchise,
well,
feel free because I may end up having 2. But as of right now, I only have 1 from the franchise. And they're not all part 2s.
Right.
I have 1 that's a part 4. Okay. I've got 1 that's a part 7. I've got 1 that's a part 3.
Okay.
So it's not just the direct sequel.
Right.
There's a couple that I have that are the direct sequel. But I at least have a part 3, a part 4, and a part 7 on my list also.
There you go.
So,
well, if I know you like I think I know you, just like you thought in 2009 about how much of a banger a movie it was, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 will be on your list. Am I right? Am I right?
You can go to hell.
All right. we gave you shit.
Halloween Kills, maybe.
Halloween. You know what? People are shitting on Halloween Kills, and I get it. The evil must die thing. Oh my god, I wanted to die myself. I really did. But you just gotta let's see what happens when it ends, folks. In a couple months, just let it be. Like the Beatles encouraged us, man. Whisper words of wisdom. Just let that shit be until October 14th. If they totally bomb and break all our hearts, I will sit right here in this chair next to this man and shit all over it. I swear to God I will. But till then, gotta let it be. All right, November. I don't know. Are we still doing the charity singles one in November?
Yeah.
Okay, because that graphic is just gone. I don't know where the hell it is. That's late November. But early November, we have come to a decision that since we moved the Horsemen up, we are going to get into JJ's wheelhouse a little bit. Get some of his favorites because the dog's barking, so clearly it's time to go. But the top 10 matches in the history of the dog still barking. Quiet you! ECW's November to Remember Supercard / pay-per-view.
Yeah, we've done TNA stuff. We've done WWE shit to the moon. We've even dabbled a little bit in World Championship Wrestling.
Oh, yes.
But we haven't really given any love to ECW.
No.
And November to Remember was one of their major shows.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If not their most major show. That's debatable, but it's definitely one that goes back quite a few years.
Yep.
So there's going to be some good shit, pal, to dive into on the cock and watch November to Remember.
That was the one show that was around before they had it on pay-per-view that they kept around after it became a pay-per-view. So, that they always called that their WrestleMania, their Starrcade, or whatever you want to call it. So it's a good way to bring ECW into the mix on this show. And after we do the charity singles one, which is the week of Thanksgiving. Week of Thanksgiving.
The 21st.
Yes. We are doing 4 straight Mondays in December.
Yes. Because we have a 3-part Disney show.
I don't have them in order. Of course, I can't see. My eyes suck. Oh, I got it right. Look at that.
The Disney Greatest Soundtrack Songs. Part 1 from 1928 to 1970. We have affectionately dubbed that the Walt era.
Yes.
Considering he passed away at the end of 1966, and he only had a couple other movies of real note that came out between 1967 and 1970, a lot of which he still had his hands in the cookie jar as far as planning and storytelling. So this is affectionately known as the Walt era.
Yes, sir.
Then we got part 2, 1971 to 2000. So we're talking about the post-Walt, the death, the trying to scramble and get everything together, the emergence of the Renaissance.
Yes.
You think Tarzan was 1999.
Yes.
So all the way up until their live action stuff too, now mind you.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna clarify everything here in a second. So
And then since the start of the new millennium, from 2001 all the way up until the day we film these episodes.
yes.
And
Now
everything is available except for theme park attraction songs. So,
and
songs that appeared in the shorts, Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? Eligible. Songs from animated movies, songs from live action movies, TV theme songs, the Mickey Mouse Club March, the Disney afternoon stuff, DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Goof Troop, Darkwing, Playhouse Disney, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Handy Manny, you know, all that stuff that our kids grew up with, Special Agent Oso, Disney Channel original movies, High School Musical, The Descendants, Camp Rock, etc.
Yes.
The more modern TV shows, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Shake It Up, Ant Farm, all of that stuff is eligible.
Now,
the theme to Fantasmic, the Tiki Room, Small World, does not count.
What about park background music?
Park background music would be park songs.
Well,
if they didn't come from a movie or a short or something.
Okay. Just checking.
I mean, because a lot of park background music is instrumental versions of the theme songs and stuff from the movies. So, you know, those songs count. I just wouldn't use the theme park version.
Okay. So we use
Feed the Birds from Mary Poppins counts. Feed the Birds, the Piano Club 33 version, does not count.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. You know me in the clarification, especially in the parks, the background music, because I love me the background music at the parks. So.
Once upon a time, they played the theme with lyrics for Blazing Saddles in Frontierland, okay?
Yes.
Let's not gloss over this.
They sure did. There is.
But I digress.
Please digress. And then we round out December with jolly old St. Nicholas himself and the top 10 portrayals on screen of Santa Claus. And that's the day after Christmas.
And I've been hearing rumors through the grapevine. I believe St. Nick will be making an appearance on that show with us.
I can't confirm or deny that, but I will say it's highly likely in all likelihood.
In all likelihood?
In all likelihood, yes, sir.
So there we go. So that is what's coming up for the rest of the year for dads. Not always on wrestling.
Not always.
I think this is a good time to go home, sir. It is almost the top of the 6 o'clock hour, which means Raw is getting ready to go in hour number 2, and we still have 2 hours until we even get to see the shit. So, thank you to everybody who tuned in and joined us today. For the West Coast Professor, Jeff Mickey Meacham, I am the Renegade, JJ Williams, and we will see you guys next time.